The keyboard player's garage.
In Denver?
In Denver.
That's where, but why did you start in Wisconsin?
That's where the band had at that time been, that had been their home base.
Babyface.
Babyface.
Led by Bobby, the guitar player?
Yes.
He was a leader. Okay,
Yes.
I knew Bobby.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
great voice.
Right.
Yeah.
I
really
believe he has a studio in Denver now.
No kidding.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Good for him. So he's still in it.
Yeah, he was a talent. I mean, I met the kid when he was 16. When I met him in Denver.
Okay.
He was with a band that toured around. Yeah.
Oh,
I forget his last name, but.
I can't think of it either.
So you stayed in Wisconsin for weeks, months?
Months. Yeah.
And then
for about 4 months.
And then, did you play around Wisconsin at all?
We did. We played at the university a couple of times.
And what kind of material did you play?
All original.
All
Bobby's
original.
material. Yeah, yeah. We played with, let's see, Smoky Waters, B.B. King, and those were the two, outside gigs that we had. I mean, the two public performances.
You opened for those. That must have been kind of neat.
It was.
Opening for them.
Yeah.
And you played bass.
I played bass. Yeah, sang backup. Sang lead on one song. But it was a good experience. And then moved down to Denver. Management decided Denver was going to be home base,
right.
home base rather. And that is where things just slowed down to a molasses pace. And we decided at that point it might be better, and this is probably about 6 months further into it. We decided it would be better if we just, went our separate ways. Things just weren't happening, which is, as you know, it's common in the industry. So as a result, I said, I think I'll come back home to the guys and see if, see what they think.
That was great. That was a great day when we got a call from you saying you wanted to come back, and that was just great.
Well, I was grateful to you for accepting me back, though, too. That's a lot.
But looking back in retrospect, I mean, it was, something that everybody goes through, and it's living life and taking a shot at,
Right.
Yeah, that was the thing that frustrated me a little bit in the band business. That, could we go the next level? I mean, we were a top 40 dance band for all those years, and that generated work for us.
Yes.
But we weren't able to totally immerse ourselves into the original aspect of it, because if you went out and played original music, I mean, Trax went through that.
They did.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Trax was the musicians band that we all went to see because they were great.
Yeah.
But the audience would always say to them, play something we know.
Yeah.
And that happens to an original band.
Yeah.
So you kind of you make the compromise of playing top 40 and being accepted, and then you make money when you play, or you starve yourself to death and try to do originals and try to get a record deal, whatever.
Exactly. That's the trade-off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you really have to be lucky. You have to be at the right place at the right time. You have to have the right material, and of course the right management.
Right.
That's going to support all of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they I think they had it. Trax had it, but Russell didn't really want to push it too much. He had other things in mind for himself.
Right. Right.
And he was key. He was absolutely key to that band.
Right.
So yeah, that's part of the industry. It's it's what you live with as a musician. If you decide that you want to make it, quote unquote, make it with your own material, you have to be willing to put up with what it takes to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the 70s, and then you came back in probably 78, let's say, and then at that time we had added Angelo Mullen on bass guitar.
Yeah.
And when he came back, we just kept Angelo, and you started doing lead vocals. But I'm sorry, looking back, I'm sorry that we didn't have you play more bass, somehow, because I know it must have been tough for you to just come back without that guitar, and just sing lead. I know it was probably tough on you, but it worked. I mean, it worked out great. It was.
Yeah, it did work out.
A nice combination.
Yeah, it felt good. The chemistry felt good. It was standing out front. You're out there almost, we can edit this if we want to, but it's like you're naked.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's a big load to carry, but at the same time, you know, you still have the support of the band behind you, and everyone sang anyway, and the chemistry was good. Our vocals were great, and it gave us, you know, that fifth voice. And Angelo's talent was, you know, what can you say?
Yeah.
Angelo is just, he's such a bundle of energy.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a strong talent.
Yep.
And a bass player that, you know, I mean, he's a lead bass player.
Right.
And
interesting
amazing
style.
Yes.
You know, because he kind of plays lead bass, but it's always been, yeah. So that was the 70s, and then that brought us into the 80s when I left the band in 1980. And I took the year off and did nothing but original music.
Oh, good for you.
With this guy from Brownsville named Andy Harrington.
I remember Andy.
And Pooh Sprague and Timmy Augustinowicz. We just, like, we did Andy's. It was one of my dreams, is just to do that for a year. We just recorded on a TAC 4-track, and just, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, but once again, that band didn't want to commit to the next step. When I asked everybody, okay, you want to sign contracts and let's start shopping this material, you know, everybody thought, well, that's maybe not what they wanted to do eventually. So, so getting that band to agree on a direction, you know, and that's a tough part. So that brings today. Why don't we just, you know, why don't we go for it? You know, are we too over the hill, do you think?
Depends upon who you ask.
Well, I like to think that the baby boomers are, you know, as evidenced by what happened at Shenanigans on Saturday night. We don't get out much anymore.
No, we
and
don't.
So when we do, I think if we provide the right platform and the right venue, and it will work.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. And that would be something that I would love to see. I know that live music, unfortunately, has lost its favor. You know, economics plays a big part in that today. But I think that and I said this on Saturday night when I was trying to promote live music at Shenanigans over the mic, that I really feel that the more frequently we can start to bring in more live music, number one, you're going to find better talent. Number two, live music will start to live again. And I think that it should, because there are a lot of great musicians out there, people that really deserve the opportunity to be paid for their talent, and for the audience to enjoy their talent as well. So I would really love to see it come back into favor again with the public.
That brings to mind what Shenanigans in White River Junction has been doing. They've been supporting live music. I don't know how they do it. The fact that everything we're talking about, live music, everybody's seen it all, done it all, there's no excitement, but somehow Shenanigans has kept running live music. And if you think about, I think now the Upper Valley has more places than it did for live music. There's probably, 4, 5, 6 venues around the Upper Valley. When I said the Upper Valley, I mean Lebanon, White River, Hanover, you know. I guess if we included Claremont and Newport and Windsor, yeah, it's getting there. But Shenanigans has the old time rock and roll club. You know,
yes.
It's got the big stage, the